Hi there, I'm Cheryl, and I have a card. I've been trying to keep them very simple so that they can go through the mail, but I just couldn't help myself. So I have this card, got lots of dimension on here, and I hope the reflective mirror here isn't blinding you, because it is very reflective. This is paper that I got from a company. It's called marcopaper.com, and they call it Mirri card reflective paper on their website, and it is just wonderful to work with. So let me tell you what you're going to need for this card. It's a 5x7 card, so you need a piece of cardstock that's 10 by 7, and then it's scored and folded at 5 inches. I have another piece. I have a piece of that reflective, beautiful reflective paper. Can't even really call it foil paper because it is more like a mirror. And this is a piece that's 5 by 7, and we'll be using the Spellbinders. Let's see, it's Majestic Labels 25 to die cut this. And originally, let me get the die out. I need to clean my die up. You should always clean your die before you put it away. But I was going to use the frame for this card, but when I cut it out and I saw this beautiful mirror, it looks like an antique mirror to me. I said, you know what? I'm going to use that. I'm going to use the scrap bit for this card. So I'll be die cutting that. Then I have a piece of Merlot, and then this is some designer paper from Merry and Bright collection from Heartfelt Creations. But if you want to just use the Berry Burst, which is this is Berry Burst for the card base. If you want to just use Berry Burst, maybe stamp it with Berry Burst and do a little design on it, or Versamark for a more subtle look, or you could even do a combination of the two, or maybe the like a white pigment ink might be nice too. So if you don't have this, don't want to use it, whatever, you could always do a little something on your own, or just leave it blank. So let's see, the Merlot is, I need to measure. Let's see, that's 4 3/4 by, should be 6 3/4. And then the designer paper is 4.5 by 6.5. And then for the inside of the card, I have another piece of a Merlot, which is going to have have a Whisper White cardstock, and these I believe are the same size as the other two. Let's see, this is the Whisper White is 4 1/4 by 6 1/4, and then the Merlot is 4.5 by 6.5. Okay, I'm using the Merry Christmas to All. I got the bundle. It's got a lot of beautiful, beautiful stamps here. I'm using the May the Beauty of the Season Fill Your Heart with Joy stamp for the inside. And then it's got the dies. It has Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, and then it's got these nice little tags, banners, whatever you want to call them, labels that you can use in front of your cards for any time of year. And of course, happy would work with birthday, and let's see, wishing you a happy birthday, and if you have a birthday stamp. So this is one that will be able to be used other than Christmas season also. And from Heartfelt Creations, I'm using poinsettia and holly clusters. I'm using the stamps and the dies that go with those. And I seem to misplace my die set, but that's okay, I'll find it. And the 3D poinsettia shaping mold makes it so easy to do your shaping of your flowers. And then from the Merry and Bright Accents, there's right here, there's this little garland here, and I cut that from some berry burst scraps, stamped it, and I stamped it in the Memento Tuxedo black, cut it out from onto the berry burst, and of course cut it out, and then can you see that? I dotted every little bead on there with my Nouveau glitter drops, and this is ruby slippers. Okay, so they're very pretty, worth the time it took, I think. So, and moving along to our inks. For the holly parts, I use Mossy Meadow, Granny Apple Green. I stamped in Mossy Meadow on Whisper White cardstock and filled it in with the Granny Apple Green. Sponged that in with a sponge dauber. Tuxedo Black is for my sentiment on the inside of the card. Let me show you that. So may the beauty of the season fill your heart with joy. I think that's just lovely. Our Merry Christmas on here also, you know, from the Merry Christmas to All collection from Stampin Up. That's cut out of Merry Merlot, and it's actually cut from this piece here. So we're going to mat these together, but first we're going to cut Merry Christmas out from here and conserve a little bit on our papers. Alright. Then for the poinsettias, on Whisper White, I stamped in Merry Merlot. And then colored the centers of the poinsettias with the Merry Merlot. Used my little sponge daubers. And then and the rest of it is the berry burst. For the centers, I have this set of prills. I used, let's see what the color is. I used Heart of Gold for the inside of the flower centers. And I adhered them with my Designer's Dries Clear Adhesive. It's Art Glitter Dries Clear Adhesive. I'll use the Tombow glue for gluing all my mats and things together. And a little additional flower shaping. I'll need a flower shaping mat. And I'm using my Take Your Pick tool. Got the little ball stylus ends on it. It's wonderful. I'll be using it also because I'll need my picker-upper tool. I'm going to use that to help me position. I have little snowflake sequins I'll be putting on the front of the card. I don't know if you caught a glimpse of those. We have a lot going on this card. So there they are. Can you see them? Yeah. And behind my poinsettias, I use some of this sparkling snow. If you don't have sparkling snow, glitter, you could just put glitter back. If you have white glitter or clear glitter, just use glitter behind them. I just wanted them like sitting on a bed of what looked like snow. And I found this and those snowflakes, I found those on Amazon. So I think it just adds a little something there to the card. So let's see, what should we start with? I think I'm going to have to go away and do some die cutting is what you know what? Let's finish coloring. I started doing my flowers. I'm going to need, let's see, I'm going to need 8 small flowers. So this group here. And I'm going to need 4 of these. And that will make 4 small ones all together because we're doubling them up. And 2 big ones. And then for underneath each of those flowers, this is the larger holly. The larger holly stamps. There's one that just has 3 leaves. I'm using the one that has 4 leaves. And I've already stamped these with the mossy meadow and then sponged them with the granny apple green. For my flowers, like I said, I'm going to be using the berry. That's not berry burst. That's melon mambo. I want berry burst. There it is. I'm going to be using a berry burst. And I'm going to use that first. And just lots of color on there. I just want lots of color and bring it out past the edges of the petals. That way, if you get just a little bit off with when you're cutting them, when you're doing your die cutting, it's not going to be as noticeable. Here we go, just like that. I'm going to just stop doing this now and go on to my Merry Merlot just to show you how I did this. If you want your holly darker, you could use a little bit of the mossy meadow in the either in the centers or on the tips of these to darken up your holly. I liked it kept it kind of bright. Okay, so let's see. There's my Merry Merlot, and we're just gonna make this darker in the center. And remember, when your inks dry, they will be a little bit lighter. So go a little bit darker than you think you're going to need. Okay, so I'm gonna do these 2 more, and all my little ones. I'm gonna die cut. Find my die for this, and then cut them out. Let's see. What else do I need to die cut? I need to die cut my my mirror, my little mirror here. So I'll do that, and that's it. Oh, I need to find the rest of my little berry garlands. I sat and made a whole bunch of those. So I'll be back in just a little bit. Hi, I'm back and I have all my little things die cut here. I had started recording this and I didn't have the record button pushed. So I wasn't actually recording it. So let me back up here and I'll tell you what I did while I thought I was recording. I also, after I cut my flowers and my holly out, my poinsettias and holly, I put them in the corresponding wells in my flower shaping mold, and I did double some of them up, so I did not wet them, and ran them through my Big Shot. Now you'll use your shaping mold in place of your platform. So you'll use the 2 plates for the Big Shot, run that through, and this shapes them beautifully. Let me show you. There's one. Look at that. So they're beautifully shaped. And then on a Cuttlebug, you use the 2 B plates and this. Okay, no platform. It's like a gigantic embossing folder. Think of it that way. So let me get 2 of my flowers out here. And I see I have a holly that one of my petals has broken off. So I'm going to do that one. And that way, if you have one that happens to, you'll see how easy it is to do this anyway. Okay, using my larger ball stylus on my U-Picket tool, I'm just going to press the centers down on here. And press the centers down on my holly here. And then using my designer's Dries clear glue, I'm going to just put a little bit of that in the center. Right, piece of cake so far. I'll stack up another one of my flowers. I'm going to give that a good press just to make sure that it adheres. And then we're going to do the same. We're going to back it with this beautiful little holly cluster. And we'll offset that a little bit too so we can see all of our holly petals. And you could just use it with the 3 petals. But if you want that 4th petal in there, well, then that's just a matter. Just put a little bit of the glue on there. And we'll just stick that on the back here where it should have been. Just like that. Hold it in place for a few seconds. And that's good enough. If we're careful, we won't mess that up. And then in the center of our flower, I'm going to put my designer's Dries clear glue. And in that little package that I got of all the different frills, it came with, let me get it out. It came with a little scoop like this for scooping your frills. I was on when I thought I was recording before, I thought I was doing real good. But then I ended up spilling them here on my flower shaping mat. But there, I just scoop them up and put them in the center there, shake off the extra, and now I have my nice little gold center there for my flowers. So now I have 2 of those done. So we have some other things we need to let dry. We're going to want to let those dry before we put them on the card. And the next thing is our Merry Christmas. Okay. And make sure you don't lose the dot for your eye. Mine stuck in my die. So I thought that was a wonderful place to have it, where I could find it easily when I want to put it on the card. So I left it there. I'm going to use my Tombow glue, and just anywhere I can find on the back here to put Tombow glue, I'm putting that on the back. I'm going to let that dry, and that will make it'll be sticky on the back, but when we press it down on our card, the Tombow won't ooze out. Okay, so I'm going to put this aside. I'll finish doing the Merry off camera because you'll need to sit and watch me do that. It's like watching glue dry, right? And we're going to want to I want to put snow on the front of my card, and that has to dry also. So I brought in my card base, my Merry Merlot mat that we cut a Merry Christmas out of, and my piece of designer paper. So we're going to adhere those down with the Tombow glue. Tombow will give us a little bit of time to move it around so we can center it really well. And you don't have to worry if your Merry Christmas is right side up or not, because we're not going to see it. You can put that down any way you like, but just so it's centered. And then my piece of designer paper next. Let me put that way. One corner is a little bit darker than the other corner, so I'm going to put that down. And then this will get glued centered on the front here. Again, using the Tombow. And we'll put that on the front. There, nice. Look at all those nice fingerprints I put on there too. The nice thing about this is, though, I can just take a cloth and rub off any of that. Matter of fact, you can even wet it a little bit. You can even dampen your cloth. That's why I like this paper so much. It's kind of like a plasticky coating on the front. Look, I can use a little bit of water on there. I mean, you don't want to spritz it down, but my cloth was just damp. But there we go. Okay, so we have that on there, and we're going to put our snow. We're going to put a nice little thing of snow here and here. And I'm going to use the designer's Dries Clear for that. I'm going to make just a nice big triangular section here. On there and down on the bottom. Get a good amount on there because I want a good amount of snow sticking on there. Okay. Let me close this up. And I have some snow in my tray here, so I'll just pick that up and sprinkle it over the top and pat it on a little bit. Shake off the excess, and see, we got a nice little snow bank to park our poinsettias in. And then there we go. We've got our nice little snow spots there. So that will get set aside to dry also. So in just a few minutes I'll be back and we'll continue on with the card. So all my little pieces are pretty well dry now, so let's do the inside of the card before we start assembling the outside. So I'll take my piece of Whisper White. I should probably move this or it's going to get stuck on there. I have my sentiment already lined up on my my Stamparatus. See, so it'll stamp right there. I'm just going to use one of my bar magnets. They're very strong. I find that usually I can get away with just using one. And I'll ink that sentiment up with my Memento Tuxedo Black. And 1, 2, 3. And it looks like I could use another stamp there. I want that good and bold. Oh, there we go. 1, 2, 3. Let's see how that comes out, because we can always do it again. And I see I've got just a little bit here on my joy that doesn't quite cover. So let me ink that again. Just inking the joy part up. There. Now it's beautiful. Put this aside. I'll clean that later. I'll use my Tombow glue. And put that on the piece of the Merri Merlot on the inside. And give that just a nice little frame. And I'll bring in my card base. I've already started on the front of this. And do the same with the Merri Merlot. And just center that on the inside. This is coming along nicely. Now we're ready to put the Merry Christmas on. And these are dry now. I'm going to put it at an angle. And just set that down on there, and look at it. It just sticks down there like I had it was made in one of those Xylon machines. And put our Christmas on there. And now I need my little dot for my eye. Let's see. I'll just grab a skewer here, poke that out. Oops. Oh, I almost put my Christmas die in where my skewers are kept. I had never found it there. So I'm just gonna, just a tiny little dot. I'm gonna use my Dries clear for that. Just put a tiny little dot of that out there. And close that up. Now there's my dot. And I'm going to use the sticky end here of my... Oop. This is very tiny. Use my sticky end here. Just put that in place. And try to get with my finger. There we go. That wasn't too bad. Now we can start to do the real decorating. So I'm going to keep my tool handy because we'll be putting sequins on. I'm going to close up my Tombow because we're not using Tombow for any of this. So let's start out with all our little garlands here. I want one here. I want one coming up here. And then I want one coming down over here on the side. You just want to make sure you keep it within the edge of the card when you glue them down. I'm not going to glue the entire garland. Just enough of it to get it stuck down. Since this is so dimensional, you're not going to have to worry about when you slide it into a card or an envelope because, well, it's just It's just not going to go into an envelope. There we go. Got a little glue there. Just dab that off with my finger. There we go. Okay, so we have our garland in place. Next will come our flowers. Using the designer's Dries clear again. Put a nice glob on there. And I'm going to put one here. And since our prills are all dry, we don't have to worry about them coming off. And put some of the little ones here. Let's see, right there looks good. And that, tuck one there. And another one over here. And just give them a little poke. Oop. Stick down there, little flower. Sometimes I feel like I get into my Bob Ross mode. Say, happy little flowers. Just stick them down. Two more flowers to go. A nice big one here. And then I'll put another little one over here. And you could stop here if you want. Because I mean really, this is beautiful. But I had these sequins, so I had to use them. So I'm just going to add some sequins here and there. Get a bunch of them out. And I'll just take my glue and I'll just, let's see, I put some dots here, there, have them kind of coming off of our little arrangement here. And the same up here. See if I can stick one in there. Okay. And I can use my sticky end again and just pick them up and put them in place. Get down there. Get down there, happy little snowflake. And when you order things online, you never know how pleased you're going to be with them or not pleased. But I like these little snowflakes. I'll put a link to where I got them on Amazon on my blog. If you want some for yourself, you can go right to where I found them and not have to hunt around for them. Alright, now this is the one. I wasn't sure if this is going to work in here. There. Oh, yep, it's going in there. Let's see, is that enough snowflakes? I think it is. And you'll notice that you can see the glue right now, but that's going to dry clear. You know what, maybe I think I'm going to put one more. Maybe two more. I'm going to put one there and one there. And then I have to stop. There we go. There's one more there and one there. And our card is finished. So if you've liked this video, then be sure to hit that like button down below, because I do watch for that. If there are any Stampin' Up! Products you'd like to purchase, you can do that through my Facebook page or my blog, and that would be wonderful if you use me as your demonstrator. If you have any questions or comments, leave them down below. I do watch out for those and try to respond as quick as I can. And y'all have wonderful, wonderful holidays. Oh, I'm going to take some time off over the holidays. I think the 2 weeks before Christmas and then the week between Christmas and New Year's. So those of you that follow my videos and watch them as they come out, don't be worried. I'm not sick. I didn't stop doing videos. I'm just going to take the time off and enjoy my holiday time. And of course I'm going to, like we all do, I'll be frantically trying to get everything done before Christmas gets here. And then my grandson's birthday is on New Year's Eve. So that's why the week between Christmas and New Year's I'm going to be taking off. And then I guess I'll have to hit the ground running in January with some Valentine's Day cards, right? So you all take care, stay safe, and happy stamping.